Konnichiwa and irashaimase. Hello and welcome back to the Tokyo Metropolitan Gymnasium, coming to you live from Tokyo, Japan. This is Tokyo 2020, the Paralympic Games, and we are getting in to the table tennis action. Right here is the schedule to come: Poland versus South Korea, the classes 1 and 2 men's team semifinal, and then the second semifinal to follow between China and Great Britain to see who will battle for gold right here on this table. Here's a look at how they got to where they were. And this is, interestingly enough, 2 different events is what you saw earlier. That's why France and Slovakia there for class 1 and 2 on the other side of the bracket. And with the equipment on the table, we'll tell you more details about that in a bit, but this will be Poland versus Korea, an exciting battle. The rackets have all been tested beforehand just to make sure that everything is legal and fair. You can see some different surfaces on the rackets, which will affect the spin on drastically. The amount of spin and variation in the game at the Paralympics has been incredible to watch. A variety of styles, capabilities, and much like rock, paper, scissors, there's an element of style matchup that even the underdog has pulled victories so far in this tournament. So, suspense factor high, and it should be thrilling to watch. How are you feeling coming into this?
Yeah, it's a class 2 match, so we'll definitely see a lot of variation in terms of rubbers, and interesting combination, no doubt. As well as, as is common in these team events, some possible surprises in the doubles, perhaps.
Yeah, starting off with doubles and then 2 singles to follow if needed. But it is the first team to win 2 matches that wins the overall team contest. So it could go quickly, and that doubles can be a very, I'd say, determining factor in the outcome overall. So here comes Team Poland. On the right there we have Rafał Chuper, 33-year-old in his second appearance here at the Paralympic Games. He's world rank number 2, took a silver in Rio, and his teammate behind him, Tomasz Jakimczuk, is 43 years old, world rank number 15. So this is a strong pairing. But another strong pairing on the other side. Korea has been outstanding in the wheelchair events. And we have 2 players representing the team in the matches. We have Park Jin-chol, the 39-year-old, world rank number 3, and Cha Soo-young, 41-year-old, world rank number 4. Park's first experience in the Paralympic Games and Cha's second, so relatively new to the Paralympic Games, but they've looked quite, I'd say, steady and experienced out here so far.
Yeah, and the team can be composed of 3 players, of course, but the third player can only alternate one of the other 2 in the doubles. So the singles would be played by the first 2 seeded in each case. All this determined pre-match.
So here's a look at the lineup, the doubles teams, and then how the singles would go should it go to a third and deciding match. Coin toss here. Korea wins the coin toss.
The silver medalists from the team event in Rio.
So 4 semifinals and then 4.
So if you're newer to the Paralympics in table tennis, there are 11 different classifications. Classes 1 through 5 are for players in wheelchairs. The lower the number, the greater the impairment, or the less the movement, balance, the more that I'd say they have to overcome to be playing. So here we've got classes 1 and 2 combined for the semifinal. And that means that they're going to have to be very clever with the defensive play, varieties of rubbers, and that tetra shot. It's a high shot that comes back over the net just to play it out of reach of the opponents.
Nothing new to either of them, of course, since they are all representative of class 2, except for him, who's even a class 1. So all tetraplegics or quadriplegics, however you will.
Now, other rules that are different in the wheelchair events for table tennis. In doubles, You do not need to alternate shots. Simply keep your chair on your half of the table. The table is split by the center line, which continues on throughout the table in theory. And you can reach across that line, but you cannot move your chair across that line. You can also not leave your seat completely. You must stay in contact with your seat. We've seen that violated, or I'd say people held accountable for that rule throughout so far, because at the Paralympic Games, the rules are enforced very strictly. Other than that, you can also serve off the side of the table in doubles, and the serve must go cross court from the right side of your half of the table on the diagonal every serve. Anything I'm missing? Anything that comes to mind?
I don't think so far, except of course that all para-table tennis matches are played to best of 5 as opposed to best of 7, which we see at the Olympic Games.
So that means the first pair here to win 3 games will win the match. Games are played to 11 points, must win by 2. They'll alternate serves every 2 points until it gets to 10-10. And if that does happen, deuce, they will alternate serves every point. Now some players use, in classes 1 and 2 especially, a bit of security and wrap their racket into their hand, just because grip, control with the palm and fingertips sometimes a little bit less. So that adds that security to make sure they maintain control of the racket.
Yeah, this is a common thing in classes 1 and 2. Needs to be stated, clarified on the classification card, of course, as it is a medical aid.
Now, if you're newer to table tennis, spin is a main factor in the game, as Poland got through RPC 2-0 in the quarterfinals. The spin factor with professional rackets, they're like trampolines and they grip the ball so much, but the different surfaces create different shots. Like you can see the bumps there on the red forehand for Cha Soo-young on the right side for Korea. Those bumps that look like Legos, you've probably seen them on recreational rackets, but they can be used at a professional level as well. The longer the pips, those bumps, sometimes known as pimples in different parts of the world, Europe for example, well, the longer they are, the more defensive they are, the more there is spin reversal. Luz Pichardo here from Dominican Republic, our umpire for the match. We'll meet our assistant umpire on the other side of the table here, who will be keeping an eye on time for the warm-up, as long as everything else to make sure it's fair. Kamiya Akiko of Japan. So shorter pips, good for flat-hitting, fast-knuckling balls. The longer pips, very good for receiving heavy side spin serves, playing defensively. But I have seen that in classes 1 and 2, no matter the length of the pips, everyone seems to be able to use them aggressively to put pressure on.
Yeah, they are meant to slow down the game, as these players have poorer body balance and need more time to get back into the position after taking a shot. Yeah, as well, a lot of pressure can be made on the opponent when used correctly.
So the warm-up has come to an end. Now the best of 5 starts with the serves, love all. What a reach here to keep contact with the chair on that ball. The backhand across the body. Beautiful stretch from Cha Soo-young.
Yeah, this tetra shot is much more risky in the doubles and must be much more accurate since, of course, 2 players have a better, wider reach across the table as only 1 player would.
Now, one thing you and I have talked about, normally in table tennis and singles, you've got a middle, the crossover point, where you can't decide forehand or backhand.
Yeah, here it's again the middle, but the danger zone for the 2 players to decide which one of them would take the ball. It often happens that either both or neither reach for it, or they both go for it, and it just takes a second of hesitation on the receiver's side, which can be too much. So we'll definitely see both teams aiming for that spot.
Now, if that comes down on the table, that's the middle we're talking about. Each player has their own personal middle, and then there's the middle of the table. But of course, out of reach, just not so easy, as you mentioned. Not a point dropped yet for the Koreans. Curse of the commentator, you're welcome very much. So, Poland on the scoreboard here. First point, still a ways to go, but only about halfway through the game. Now this is an example of some miscommunication. The Polish players thought maybe the other one had it. Perfect placement by the Koreans right down the middle.
Now here at least we have only right-handed players, so they don't clash in that middle or have an extra opening.
And another demonstration of what happens when that Tetra shot comes just too deep onto the table, gives the free attack to the opponent. Looking aggressive with the backhand, Park just going long on the short side. So the Polish pair now signaling here. Chuper signaling what he wants to give. Ripping backhand on the cross court, the power from Park. And now it is 8 game points for the Korean pair to take the first game.
The two Korean players, both bronze medalists from the singles event here.
And just short, it stays on their own side, so the Korean pair, the bronze medalists from singles, go back to the corner with the first game on the scoreboard. Remember, each match is a best of 5. So first pair to win 3 games wins the match. We'll see what the Polish pair come back with in game 2 coming right up. Players back to the table for game number 2. Korea in control. Polish pair here, the men in black, the MIB. Looking to see the things you cannot see. Or at least create some things that their opponents can't see. Some deception from the serve, get in with quick attacks. And right out of the gates, deception on this reverse tomahawk serve. Deep, fast, and spinny. And the short game as well, changing it up. Now this is something we saw earlier today, just in general. Players that were dominated in the first game coming back with outstanding variety in the touch game, really giving surprises to their opponents. Middle for middle, the Koreans put on the pace on the last shot and find the hole.
Yeah, oftentimes during the timeout, the team or the player who won the first game perhaps wouldn't put too much thought into how do things better in the next one, and then the opponent starts off game number 2 better.
After an 11-2 victory, you could imagine something along the lines of keep it up, get out there, do it again.
Easier said than done, of course.
A good reach here, but an even better Tetra shot to stretch out the opponents. The Polish showing the control out here from the baseline. So first towel break and already double the score that they had in game number 1, and they're leading. So now Yakimchuk on the receive.
Almost out of the court.
Right at the baseline, sounded like it caught a bit of the edge. There was the acknowledgement from Cha. But still the placement just perfect, deep and right down the middle. Good use of side spin here. I have to wonder, I don't know, I feel like the players move well to get out of each other's way when they need to. This one there was some backswing. Big full stroke. You almost wonder if the partner was wondering if he needed to get out of the way or be there for security.
Yeah, that is the question, of course. When you have enough time to even think about it and don't react instinctively.
Oh, too sweet. Just over the net and hopped right back over like a hurdler.
Perfect, and right in the middle where it's the hardest to reach.
So scoreline here drastically different. Just like at the first towel break, at the second towel break, they've doubled their opponent's score. The men in black with the serves in the lead. I think if I'm in the coach's corner, I'm shaking my head. That's the right shot to take. Looking positive for the opportunity early on. Nothing too forced. So a bit of disappointment and frustration here. Chupa, with a few opportunities. This one seemed a bit more to be his ball, a higher percentage shot than even the one before. So closing in a bit, the Koreans now just 2 down with 2 serves on their side. Ooh.
Took his sweet time with that one. It looked like he hesitated just a bit too long, but yeah, it was enough to get it across that net.
A 4-point streak here. The Koreans putting some real pressure on the opponents. A very smooth shot from Park.
No hesitation in that one.
A good fast long serve here. Yakimchuk getting an outright point, a much needed point to gain back some momentum here. Pressure back. Chupa with a super shot. Clutch really at the third towel break. No longer double the score of their opponents. I guess that wouldn't be possible at a third towel break.
Oh, ho, ho.
This was very tight, and the stretch, but the touch in the end in response from the Polish side. The Polish pair take it 11-8, so after being destroyed in game number 1, mentally, they were anything but. They came back strong and turned the tables, so 1 game apiece. We'll see who takes the lead in game number 3 right after this. Players back to the table for game number 3, dead even now in games. And really, the points don't matter in the sense that it's simply the team to win 3 games, no matter how badly you're beaten in any individual game. speaking of which, this was a nice meal for Cha Soo-young, just eating up that lob from the back of the table.
It's not as easy to make as it looks, though. Even with this perfect setup for him.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine it being quite tough because a lot of these shots, they come from up high. They're not able to get over the ball to put topspin on it so easily. Or at least that's how it appears.
Yeah, that is how it is, and how it feels for the player as well at the table. Have to throw yourself onto the ball basically, and of course make sure to have the right angle on the racket.
Now this is the combination, the order of play that really strongly favored the Korean men. In this lineup, when they were in this playing order, it was 11-2 in game number 1. But they will switch playing order every game to alternate that.
Nicely waited for that attack. We saw that middle ground with the Koreans, but they handled it well.
So scoreline quite similar. At 7, after 7 points had been played in game 1, it was the same to my memory.
Yeah, from this now, you really would think that it's the setup of the server to receiver combination that works for the Koreans.
Right. So if the Polish are able to, of course, get this game, would be better for them, but... Oh, look at that serve, perfection. Not easy to get it out of reach like that.
No, not at all.
I was going to say, though, that the Polish would have to take the next game, and should they go to the decider, game 5, they will switch order of play once again when one player, or when one pair reaches 5 points, as they switch sides of the table as well.
Yeah, we'll see if that's the trend that continues in game 4.
Quality push there from the Polish side, heavy underspin. Doesn't miss by a lot. Good defense attempted on the Polish side, but the attack from the Korean Park Jin-chul just too strong. And good placement as well. No chance. Once again, it comes right back home.
That's interesting that neither of them even went for it.
I think they recognized so early that it was out of reach. You hear about this, someone loses a pawn against a grandmaster in a world-class chess game and they just tip their king, they shake hands. It felt like that. They recognized that the point was over right from when it was contacted. So 3 points between them now. Quite a streak here from the Polish pair. Seven points in a row.
Yeah, they shouldn't let this out of their hands now. At least they get to serve. That has been an advantage for them so far.
I realized the 7-point streak must have been somewhere else, but I remember down 1-6. So either way, a large percentage of the last several points. It might have been the Korean pair who had a 7-point streak. Well, now, when you have the lineup that you need, the order of play that favors you heavily, the Koreans really need to make sure they don't let this one slip.
It just goes to show once again that it can be up to 1 or 2 points that make all the difference in a game.
After all that cautious play, Park finally earns himself a ball that's about shoulder height. Good side spin there, less underspin on it. It comes back high, maybe even about head height. So now game point for the Korean pair on the receive. Right down the middle, Chuper, big shot to save it, so they will alternate serves until one side has a 2-point lead. We are at deuce in game 3. This rally was insane. Covering the middle, there were 2 shots in this rally. I don't even know what side of the racket it was hit with. And it came back every time it was attacked right down the middle. Quick reactions. There was no, oh, this is you. It was, we both got it every time. So the Polish pair, from down by quite a lot, now have game point. Ooh, just wide. The Koreans hanging on, save a game point.
No quickly earned points now. Have to work for all of them hard.
Good placement here, caught right in between the two. So second game point for the Polish pair. And there it is, the Polish pair patiently take the game. So 13-11, they come back from what looked like it had already gone away to the other side. We were talking about winning game 4. Now if they win game 4, that's the match. So we will see what happens. Game 4, it's the Polish pair in the lead 2-1. Korea with their back against the ropes in the first match of Poland versus Korea men's team classes 1 and 2 semifinal. Players back for game number 4. The Polish pair, men in black at the top of the screen, leading 2-1 over the Koreans, who have done quite well in the past.
And with the mental advantage, in this case, of course, also on the Polish side. That didn't look like class 2 to me.
Yeah, no, they definitely turned up the pace on this one. It wasn't that patient pushing game. Good deception on the serve, fast and long. Maybe not so much rotation on it as it comes back into the net. There are the gold shoes that we saw earlier on Park Jin-chul. Man with gold on the mind, but he's got to get through this team contest first. Good backhand right down the middle of the table from Park.
Important game or match for Poland, since in the first singles, their silver medalist from the Class 2 singles event will face one of the Koreans, and that's a good chance for them to take the overall match as well. They'd be in more trouble if the Koreans win here. Yeah, Kim Chuk lost both his round-robin group matches in the singles, so he's hardly expected to be able to win against a bronze medalist from Korea.
Too smooth, too confident, just softly comes under the ball and lobs it up right behind the net, completely out of reach. So the Polish pair back within 1 point here. 2 in a row, nails him. Man, does that feel good. It's not an easy shot, but it is bullseye twice in a row.
Bringing Poland to an even score with the Koreans.
Just wide on this one. Chupa with a flawless record. Just the last 2 shots before this, but a human moment there under pressure from the middle of the table.
Yeah, difficult situation for the Koreans now because they have to work so hard to win their points, but are losing them so easily with this high tetra shots on the other hand.
If you're new to the Paralympic Games tetra, named after tetraplegic, that's the shot that comes back to your side. The body language from the Polish men was quite interesting as the Koreans go into a timeout here. It almost looked like they had lost the point the way they were talking to each other, shaking their heads, but probably the details of the conversation, the content was actually something different.
Yeah, because oftentimes, okay, you've won the point, but you know that you've placed the ball wrong or made the wrong shot yourself, so it's something to be discussed or to try to correct, even though you won that one particular point.
Right. See if we can identify what
yeah,
it was
this
here.
is it, because on the receive, the Polish lifted the ball and would make it easy for the Koreans to attack. They were just lucky that they did it so poorly.
So lucky escape on a mediocre receive. By body language and demeanor on the table, Rafał Chuper is actually 10 years younger than his teammate, but has played the Paralympic Games before and also is world ranked #2. So you can understand why he'd be a bit of a team leader and take some responsibility here. Even just taking it on himself, feeling a sense of responsibility to deliver and carry the team.
Age doesn't always translate into experience, especially in para-table tennis events.
This is unbelievable how successful he's been with this shot. I can only think of one that he's missed in his tetra attempts in this game, and he's attempted about 5, at least 5.
Yeah, and as long as it works, it's just the perfect solution.
Show he is. This one sits too deep, closer to the baseline, within reach, and it is attacked back quickly.
Yeah, got a little bit greedy, perhaps.
Yeah, pretty understandable if it's been working for you nonstop. Now, this is why you said it's dangerous in doubles, because you've got two players. You're already that much closer to getting around the side. So if it's played right to the middle, then it's tough to reach. But if it comes off the side, that's what happens. Quite often, anyway.
Yeah, that's the thing with this tetra shot. It's great if it's perfect, but if it's not perfect, then it's great for the opponent.
Down the middle of the table, right in between a quick backhand here, Cha Soo-young. Nice parallel backhand. He took what was his there. He said, I know you're back from the table a little bit. I'm going to step over here. As long as he doesn't cross the line with his wheelchair, he can reach across and does so successfully. So business end of game 4. Chuper with the serves. Ooh, an omiyage, a gift. He's going to shake that off and try to make the most of this second opportunity here. But that shot is too quick and too clean. Park Jin-chul giving 2 game points to the Koreans to send this to the decider.
Yeah, some nice long middle placed shots by the Koreans lately.
That's what it's all about, right to the middle of the table. And it came out of nowhere. He didn't give a big backswing. It was just a quick decision to turn the racket up under the ball. When you've got that shot, you're always looking for it in the push rally. When's the best opportunity to bring out the great weapon? Game point saved, 1 more to go for the Korean pair. Big backhand does it, and Korea 11-9 sends this to the deciding game. So grab your drinks, grab your snacks, and tell your friends where they need to be right here for game number 5, which will decide who wins the first match, Korea versus Poland, and that's coming up right after this. Players back to the table for the decider. They will switch sides when one pair gets to 5 points. Interestingly enough, that the order flip-flopped in terms of who would win and who had the advantage in games 3 and 4. But really, game 3 was quite tight, even though it did favor the Polish men, or the Korean men, rather. Not so common, especially in classes 1 and 2, to see the players back off the table like that. But in doubles, at least you have your teammate there to cover the other half. Can you think of a time where you saw a player get that far behind the table on the defense in classes 1 or 2?
No, at least not very often. But it's great if you can do it and if it helps. Especially, as you said, in the doubles, you have your partner to cover the middle ground or go for the short balls should they return like that. Marlon was a bit rushed, I feel.
Yeah, it seemed like they weren't clear on who was going for it and hit rackets at the point of trying to contact the ball. Good placement from the Polish pair to cause the confusion. So a bit of a lead here for the men in black. 1 serving 3, Korea down. Nice use of side spin here from Park, bending it out to the corner.
Planning the tactics for the next rally.
Some surprising residual spin on that. The receiver just cutting back and leaving the side spin on that was given from the server. So they will switch sides, and on the second serve here for Yakinchuk, the receiver will now be the other player. So this would be the order that favored the Polish in game 2, but not in game 4. So it's really anybody's game at this point, with the Polish pair up by 3 halfway through.
Yeah, so they have that advantage.
That's a tough one. Now from this camera angle, we can't truly appreciate how high that ball was, but just from the timing alone, it felt like that's the ball that he would ask for anytime he could get it. That said, he's made some really low percentage shots with a very high consistency. So it all evens out in some ways.
Nicely handled the middle now, even though they both reached for the ball.
Oh, it is too pretty. This shot just scoops it up to be that confident and calm. I mean, that's like hanging a bird over some alligators within reaching distance, just about.
But this is also what distinguishes the best table tennis players from the rest is this consistency in well-placed shots. It's not about making one great shot once in a while and being average on all the others. It's better to, the best ones do it all the time and are being consistent in this.
I was just trying to think about what alligators like to eat the most for the analogy. Like, it's really a dangerous shot with such strong attacks on the other side, you know?
Yeah, definitely, but also, yeah, if you're that good, if you're that confident, why not? And if it works, which it does for the Polish at the moment. I think they maybe only lost 2 or 3 of these tetra shots. Well, the 4th one now, let's call it that.
Yeah, this one sits a bit deeper in a timeout on the Polish side. Nice to be able to have a timeout with a 3-point lead when you're 3 points away. Now, in terms of the future, what lies next, what lies beneath this match, if the Polish pair take it, you might think, well, the Koreans in singles should be dominant, but head-to-head, Rafał Chuper is 2-1 against Park Jin-chul. So, on paper, he'd be the favorite to win that match, not to mention he's a silver medalist in the singles in Rio. That was 5 years ago, but...
And here as well.
So that's much more recent than 5 years ago. And 15 years ago, no, I got nothing. That's cool. And a good reminder that he should be the favorite. Even more evidence to say that the Koreans really need to take this match for some security. Ooh, just stays on their side of the table, almost scales the net.
This is hard to digest.
Well, it's funny, he seemed incredibly zeroed in on that shot, but one time just a bit too long, and he was punished, so he tried to shorten it up, and it was just a bit too short. So he's found his parameters here. He's engineering out the perfect shot. There it is, 2 big shots, the serve to set up the attack. Good defense. And it forces one more shot, but Chuper hits an unreturnable shot, and it's a 3-point lead again for the Polish men.
That one was, again, right on the edge, right on the line.
It looked like Chuper wanted the forehand, but realized that it was straight into the body of his teammate, so understandable that he would let his teammate have the shot. A lot of thinking here for the Koreans. 2 big serves. Oh, top of the net and deep from the corner. The celebration for the point. That's the difference between 3 match points and an 8-9 game with a second serve.
Yeah, his push returns weren't the best. He was just moving more and more away from the table, lifting the ball more and more, and really just setting up Park for this winner.
I think that's the most frustration I've seen from a player. I mean, understandable. Chuper has made an unbelievable percentage of those shots, but the last 3, he hasn't been able to cause the effect and the result, the outcome that he's been looking for. So scoreboard show, I thought it was 9-9 and should be the Polish team's serve. Here we go, okay.
Yeah, that's right.
9-9 in the decider, serves with Chuper. And this one he nails. Man, did he want that one bad. Can you imagine if he had missed? But under pressure.
It just goes to show how much confidence he has in his shots.
So now match point. The side spin carries it. Beautiful shot from Park, that bit of side spin. And Chuper saying, you got the attack on this. It's a good opportunity to attack. Well, they're gonna do their best. It's not over yet. They will alternate serves until one pair has a 2-point advantage now.
This is as thrilling as can be. It's especially interesting since it's only the first match, but it could be the deciding one.
And the topspin makes it kick up and find the edge of the racket. And now the Korean pair, with a match point of their own, saved one. Just a little bit behind the table there. Cha Soo-young on the receive. Good pressure here, Chuper down the middle. Did it clip the net?
Too fast to see.
Yeah, right. We saw a little acknowledgement of fortune from Chuper here, but he saves match point. Now on the receive. We're gonna see a tetra. Is he gonna go for it? Depends on the serve. But just too deep. Still gets a racket on it on the defense. But as they might have expected, they came into the table quickly. Cha Soo-young was right there for the put away. Second match point for the Koreans. Oh, and it's too deep. Park and Cha take it. What a thrilling finish. The shot that had absolutely ruined them throughout the match, they adjusted to and pulled out in the end. A beautiful finish for the Korean pair. Park Jin-chul and Cha Soo-young start off with the first match, and that changes everything. The Polish pair with an uphill battle now.
Yeah, really heartbreaking end for these two. With much slimmer chances now of taking this match.
The scoreline there on screen, domination from the Koreans in the first, but everything after that was either the difference of 2 points or 3 in game 2. But other than that, it was just the narrowest margin possible. A strong fight. It'll be up to Chuper to beat Park Jin-chul. the silver medalist back-to-back, Rafał Chuper. But here are the stats on screen. The Koreans outscoring their opponents by quite a bit. And relatively quick points. Again, all those tetras, those fast serves, I think that's a big reason that the average rally was only 5 shots, quite low.
Certainly, we saw a few nice rallies, exciting ones too, but it wasn't many. Mostly it was just about, this tetra shot.
So the quick solutions, the quick points, and the putaways. Enjoy the highlights and stick around because we've got more excitement to come. Rafał Chuper and Park Jin-chul coming right up. And the players are back for the action, ready to go. This is the first singles match. You're watching men's teams, classes 1 and 2, the semifinal battle between Poland and Korea. Korea taking the first match in the doubles. And now it is up to Poland's Rafał Chuper to win here, to save Poland, keep their chances alive. And if Park Jin-chol of Korea, the 39-year-old world ranked number 3, wins this match, Korea moves on to the gold medal match.
Better record of head-to-head for the Polish, and better success here in the singles. He took silver, bronze for the Korean.
Despite the shoe color, by the way. He's got the gold shoes, which you'll have a chance to see throughout. They've got a 2-minute warm-up here. I think right now it's probably more necessary than usual considering the amount of time that's passed since the doubles. That shot right there, we'd be more likely to see here than we were in doubles, but it was incredibly frequent in the doubles match.
Could be even more effective here, and the players are better positioned to do it, of course, in the singles, more used to all that.
Yeah, I'd expected more here, but still just sort of calibrating and finding the right depth for the shot. Park, no problem on this one. Takes the first point, second serve here.
Chuper was doing really well with those tetra shots at the start or in the middle of the doubles match, but cost them the win in the end.
Wow, did you see the look on Chuper's face? That is rough when you've got a shot that's your signature and the opponent outdoes you after you've tried it twice in a match, twice in the game, and he starts just flawlessly. Park, well, I think took a moment here. The coach was being told you need to put your mask back on.
That is a bit of a mental game here. Now Chuper missed his tetra shot twice, and then Parker did it right away.
The facial expression of Chuper in that moment. It really sent a very quiet, I'd say silent but loud message. Like a clear message without any words needed. Good side spin here on the tomahawk, carries the receive wide. Did you catch what happened at the end of the point before?
No.
Right now, Chuper seems to be in a bit of disbelief.
Yeah, but let's not forget that this is what happened to both the Polish in the doubles as well.
This was nice, by the way. Park was the one who called it, not Chuper. Park said, no, that serve was off the side. Very fair play. So if you're newer to the wheelchair events, if the serve comes off the side of the table or goes back towards the net. So again, that's the serve. Must eventually come off the back of the table or it's a let.
Again, just a bit short on his tetra shot.
Nice combination here, brings him in short to the forehand and then plays it behind out of reach on the backhand side. Showing that he's got the offense too with the placement. Quite a turnaround here. The streak has been broken. So serves 5-9 for Chuper. Park just 2 points away from getting that first game on the scoreboard. Oh, beautiful
that was
counter.
great. I was just going to say that we're not seeing any long rallies again, but this one was nicely planned.
Oh, perfect shot here. The touch, the side spin, and the short angle. Park sets himself up with 3 game points. But the heavy side spin carries it wide.
And he knows why, Chuper.
So we'll see if he can work out everything that he understood in game number 1. He's got a tough opponent on the other side of the table, but Park leads 1-0 in a best of 5. First player to win 3 games. Game number 2 coming up in just a bit. Players back to the table for game number 2, and Chuper with the serves down 0-1 to start it off.
He'll need to win this match, and was kind of the favorite, but that was certainly not on display in game 1.
Oh, beautiful shot from down low. The return was pretty solid. Deep, low to the net. I wonder if that was the wry smile from Chuper.
When that's the answer.
I mean, that's the shot that, again, he made with a very high percentage through the mid part and deep part for the most part of the match in doubles, other than 3 of the last 4, I think.
Yeah, and wasn't working for him in game 1, and now it was Parker who tried to counter.
Seemed to be a bit of a disagreement here where the serve was. I didn't actually catch it. It just seems like that's the most common disagreement, is if a serve is off the side or not.
Yeah, but Chuper got the point, so I'm not sure why he would argue with it.
Maybe I think the Koreans thought that maybe the point should not have been his, that there was a rule that was broken in the process, and he was saying, nope, all good here. Oh, a crushing shot goes not almost over into the next court behind. Watch how far this ball travels.
And watch how he has to throw himself along with his wheelchair, basically, on this ball. So if your timing is off, there's no chance to recover from that shot. Again, and even down the line.
Yeah, this inside-out forehand to finish took a lot of work to earn that opportunity. He had stretched out far to the deep forehand side, rebalanced himself, as we talk about being so important. But a quick, clean shot. Park inside the table is very crafty and quick with that backhand.
Yeah, this is just textbook wheelchair backhand spin.
The amount of time between the bounce and the contact on that smash was almost nothing.
Yeah, when sitting in a wheelchair, you have to try hit the ball as soon as possible after it bounces off the table.
Especially off the shots that are going away from you, out of reach potentially.
Yeah, that's the point, and since you're sitting so low, you also don't want for the ball to start falling back towards you.
Good use of side spin, good placement here. Park back within one. Funny, you look at Park in his game and you think power, but he's got the touch too. And just as you described, catches it early. Chuper says, okay, I see you.
Right after bounce, even left the racket out of his grip a little bit.
This shot here, a tomahawk smash to the opposite corner. Both players, again, there's just this sort of poker face coming back. Exits the side of the table, they'll play that again. But they keep raising each other, that's the poker reference here. Every time someone does something, the other seems to do it just a little bit better back. It's like a duel. Nice combination wide to the backhand, and before he could rebalance, Chuper, he had a shot coming back quickly down the line. That is so fast.
Yeah, in class 2, it's next to impossible to come back from the backhand side to the forehand so fast. Oof.
Another perfectly placed shot here.
Earns him a game point.
Remember, if Korea wins this match, that is it. The first shot was very clever. I thought he misled Park, but Park recovered quickly and brought it back, got into position, and he takes the game. So 1 game away from sending Korea to fight for the gold medal. But it's a best of 5, and game number 3 will be coming right up. Players back for game 3, and it is Rafał Chuper whose back is against the ropes here. And he wins the point, but doesn't seem so satisfied with himself.
Yeah, because once again, he set up Park for the attack, so he knows that he can't do that again.
We would call that a lucky escape, maybe.
Yeah, that's I think the perfect description for that.
It's funny the way Chuper was nodding his head from here. I thought he might have already been saying, it's a good shot, nothing I can do, but I guess he was saying, I know I got what I wanted. Park with a good reach, but the second one, Chuper is there for the cross court, puts the extra pressure on for that wider angle.
Now it's working, he's thinking, I think, Chuper. Oof, that was great serve. Deep into the backhand, but not too wide to send it off across the sideline. And again.
It's just so fast, and it's bending right back into the table. So only a second point for Park here, but Chuper needs to keep him away.
He was at the ball for this return, but couldn't reach far enough to adjust the angle on the racket.
Good rotation from the deep backhand in near the net. Chuper spinning it back heavily.
More patience from Chuper in this. Not going for this tetra shots all the time.
Yeah, he's mixed it up quite well. We've seen a good variety of shots from him, and the scoreboard has, say, been rewarding him handsomely for his decisions. Oh my goodness, that's a tough one. Right near the net. I mean, he must have slid the racket out to his fingertips for this shot. Oh, look there. Loose grip. See the way he's holding the racket?
Yeah, it's all about the timing in shots like these. Because once you went for it, there's not much you can change or adjust.
Just 8 game points here. And only one needed. Chuper cruises through game number 3, and he's on the scoreboard, but he's going to have to keep this up for the next 2 games to keep Poland's hopes alive. So sitting up quickly, getting hyped up here. We'll see a bit of caffeine, a bit of sugar, all the stuff that doctors may or may not let you know, but for short term, he's got game 4 coming up real quick. So Park Jin-chol looking to finish it in game 4. Game 4 in just a bit. Players back for game 4. Chuper with some serious momentum in the serves. And heavy underspin, but deception on that tomahawk serve for the outright point.
He's well on the way now, and these smashes that worked so well for Park in game 2 aren't coming across.
Omiyage, a gift to a man who, well, game-wise needs it anyway. Score-wise, doing quite well so far.
He's on the roll now.
I see what you did there. Clever. So first point for Park on the scoreboard. This one drifts just long. Does not want this game to be tight. This is nice. I like it when they get into these wide-angle push rallies and one keeps going wider than the one before.
Yeah, but there's also no way to get out of it at that point, because you just can't twist your wrist enough to make it down the line. So yeah, it is just who plays it better to who shortens it better.
Well, he gets the contact up, but as we've talked about, that smash comes in with backspin. It's tough to block in a conventional way. You really have to open the racket to keep it out of the net. This is a very difficult ball right into the crossover point, right at the body from the backhand. Look at the placement here. Racket head straight up. He's in the right place, but just doesn't close it as much as he wants.
The smashes are back.
I feel like Chuper, when he gets the ball a little bit higher, when he's able to, it's a little bit easier for him to find the place just behind the net. That's a let service because it goes off the side. Just to mix it up, a fast serve with not too much on it to the backhand. It stays short. Chuper with the point, up by 1. Again, this is a must-win game. Rafał Chuper to send this to the decider.
And to keep Poland in play in this match. The two Polish players have a bronze from the last Team World Championships, but that was all the way back in 2017. If they want to get away from this with more than a bronze, then now's the time to do it.
Good placement here. Chuper bringing him back into that short backhand. It's a fine balance because Park is very strong with his backhand over the table when he can reach it comfortably. He tried to put some height on it this time to make it come back out of reach, but just a little bit too short.
Yeah, that was again a game of a few centimeters, or not even a few, just one, I would say.
And now just 1 point between them. Park right back in it. But a big serve here, tomahawk serve deep to the backhand, and Chuper with 2 game points to send this to the decider. Oh, perfect shot. So grab those healthy drinks and snacks and tell your friends what they need to be watching. Game number 5, the decider, to see if Poland stays alive or if Korea moves on to the gold medal match. The decider coming right up. Park Jin-chul on screen here for Korea as Rafał cleans the racket for full traction, control, and spin here. Maybe saying some last words to make sure he's ready, has all the preparation he needs to pull Poland through. So game 5, Park will start with the serves. Just pressing down the rubber there to make sure that it's fully glued down to the blade. Sometimes fresh rubber comes up a bit. That was a beautiful serve, hooking towards that corner, but coming off the back of the table.
Could have used 1 or 2 of those in the previous game.
You see the frustration here after 2 solid serves from the opponent, trapping the ball. Rafał looking to control now. See how he handles with his serves.
Ooh, that was close.
Yeah, he's done a very good job, I think, of varying up the spin combinations on that tomahawk serve. This one doesn't miss by a lot. Here's the tetra. Oh, goes for the kill, but just long. 3 serving 1 Park. Nice use of side spin here to continue the bend and place it just shallow enough.
So perhaps we'll now be watching a competition in tetra shots. It is game 5.
I think until it stops working for someone as a high percentage shot, I think you could be onto something here. But back to the angular play, a ball a bit lower than head height for a while now.
Yeah, the tactic was clear here by Park.
This is a fast-paced exchange, backhand to backhand, pinning the middle. I love how quick it is when he recognizes the opportunity. I mean, both players, we've seen that in just a moment. They're like, ooh, he left this one in a place where I can tetra that.
They'll be switching sides now, as in every game 5.
A timeout called on the Korean side.
One-point lead for Trooper is not much, but Park was in the lead before, so he's lost a couple of points now.
I'll be curious to see. When I think Park, just from what I've seen from him throughout this, Tokyo 2020, he's been very aggressive. He's been good near the net. He's been quite steady with the backhand attacks. It's just tricky when you get into the pushing rally with Chuper because his control in that tetra shot, I mean, they both have it, but for Chuper, it's quite notably a signature for him that's very dangerous.
Yeah, and if he decides to do it, he can do it on his first or second shot in the rally. So it's not giving Park much of a chance to develop his attacking style.
So back from the timeout, Park Jin-chul, world rank number 3 at 39 years old, just 1 point down as they've switched sides halfway through the decider. That shot was so close to the net. That is a satisfied man right there, that smile. It's exactly what he wanted, and right out of the timeout for his opponent, so a 2-point lead, and the serve's back with him. And he starts to get closer to the finish line. 1 point at a time, still a ways to go, but this again is for the survival of Poland to keep fighting. Man, is that good. You just got to shake your head sometimes and say, how does he find these opportunities? Just a little bit of side spin. Without side spin, I think Park clobbers that ball.
Yeah, he's trying to find a spot, from which Chuper wouldn't do that so well, but it
hasn't been easy, that's for sure. Chuper's making this day at work tough for Park, but Park there successful with the smash and the setup. And this one just short, so Chuper 2 points away from sending it to a deciding match to give his teammate Tomasz a chance against Cha Soo-young. That's Polish for watch this. Probably not. Or was it? Can you imagine if he had just turned to somebody and said, hey, watch this?
I don't think he would.
Me neither.
Probably more like, can you be quiet or don't bother me while I do my thing.
Well, he does his thing out here, 11-5. He takes it home. Chuper with a super performance out here to shut down Park Jin-chul in the deciding game number 5. Both players really brought out some outstanding play here, but it's going to come down to the other two who've been sitting in the corners since the doubles. It'll be Tomasz Yakimchuk versus Cha Soo-young of Korea. So the Poland and Korea battle will continue. What a thrilling team contest.
Yes, it is, and we're used to seeing these long, tight matches, especially in classes 1 and 2. So I think we're in for a treat, perhaps, in this third one as well. Although, in this case, it must be said that the Korean is by far the favorite.
Well, in terms of being in for treats, I've got a sweet tooth. And after that 3-game comeback, just reminds you that you never know. Stats on screen here. Rafał Chuper, 49-37. Average rally's quite short, but when you've got a player with such a strong tetra, it ends the rallies quickly, so we understand why the lower average. And I think you're right, the Korean will be the strong favorite head-to-head, but this is what it comes down to. So far, 5 games apiece on both sides. Every single match has gone to the deciding game. We'll see if Tomasz can take Cha Soo-young. But that match is coming right up, so stay right here. Players at the table, it is Cha Soo-young of Korea, the 41-year-old world ranked number 4 in class number 2 at his second appearance at the Paralympic Games, who's getting strapped in with the racket to make sure he keeps control. He's got a 3-0 record against his 43-year-old opponent, world ranked number 15, Tomasz Jakimczuk of Poland. So as they get into the 2-minute warm-up here, be sort of some feeling out. See the smooth rubber there, the spinny side for Jakimczuk. We'll have a chance to see the red side of his racket in a moment. I'll be curious, you know, so far all we have from him during this broadcast has been his doubles performance, and he had some trouble with the high backhands getting a little bit behind the table. But doubles and singles are very different. Sometimes sharing space can be a challenge, but playing in your own space, you set up your own game much more comfortably.
Yeah, it has its plus and minus sides, of course, because, yeah, you have less control of the game if you're sharing your space with somebody else, but you have a better coverage across the table. No doubt, however, it's the individual matches where your personal style can come to play more, and that's also why we see so many more surprises in the doubles.
In terms of surprises, don't be surprised. I think the cameraman was very clever to give us a look at that left hand, the non-racket hand, to show us how important the movement and control of the wheels are during play.
No doubt, especially with this tetra shot attempt we see all the time. It's about moving yourself as close to the table as possible before making the shot, and on the other hand, moving back away for when you need the space. Not much more than that can't really be done, especially in lower classes, because there's no time, and of course physically the players are slower.
So not a point dropped yet for Jakimczuk. COC, curse of the commentator, and Cha is on the scoreboard. Now reminder, Cha Soo-young, the strong favorite here. Quick into the points. Jakimczuk has done some serves very quickly, but it's Cha who finishes the point without much time. This time looking a bit more aggressive. Jakimczuk sort of trying to get in for the aggression on the third ball.
And so far we're seeing a completely different game by these two.
It's a good serve right to the corner, but still comes off the back of the table. Now you can hear the pips on Cha Soo-young's forehand. That means it's going to be very tough to rally with. I wouldn't be surprised if Jakimczuk goes more for the backhands, tries to escape that forehand attack.
That's one way to do it. The pimps, of course, also the better rubber to shorten the shots.
Take a look here, that side spin in the attempted tetra, too short. Nice parallel backhand, a spin shot right down the line, and Yakimchuk with a big point to get back within 2, but a lead once in the beginning, first 3 points, and since then, Cha's taken control. It's funny, it sounded like he said backhand, but pretty sure that's not exactly what he said. But it was very useful. And a perfect placement here. The crossover point gets a late shot from Cha at the baseline with the backhand from the elbow. And the follow-up attack, look at that. Tough to be a threat. I think he was caught in between tetra and a deep push. Nice placement here. Control in the short game now, slowing it down a bit when he needs to.
Another attempt to push it down the line. Was just slightly wrong on the angle.
Now remember, head-to-head, Cha Soo-young 3-0. He has never lost to Tomasz Jakimczuk. Polish player here with the serves. Good adjustment. The flatter knuckling ball comes in and he drives it a bit deeper on the table. Really keeps the racket open there to make sure he doesn't close as he would against the topspin shot, but the Korean quickly ties it up, and now the last 2 serve combination in game number 1 will be on the Korean side. It is so close to that corner, and it's been a sweet spot for Cha.
A sweet spot for anyone, really, because it's difficult sitting in a wheelchair to reach to that deep backhand.
But good aggression back as soon as he survives the serve. Deep receive, and then the follow-up tomahawk forehand attack. Here we are, deuce in game number 1. Cautious play, controlled in the push rally, low to the net. It is game point for Jakimczuk. Nice quick deception, turns it out wide to the forehand. It did not telegraph where he was going to go, so that turn of the wrist pays off. And the underdog, Tomasz Jakimczuk of Poland, takes game number 1 against Cha Soo-young. Game number 2 coming right up. Players back to the table for game number 2. The man in black, the MIB, Poland's Tomasz Jakimczuk, leading 1-0, having never beaten Cha Soo-young before, but he's off to a good start to send Poland to the gold medal match. Long way to go still, best of 5. Doesn't miss by a lot here on the counter, considering that knuckling ball off the pips comes in. Ooh. Bit of a break here. No miyage for Jakimczuk. Clever idea, but we haven't seen too many rallies played quite like that from Jakimczuk. He had also been very consistent in his pushing game and his control in game number 1.
Yeah, but an easy mistake now. And
a bit of a surprise, really, from under the table. Waits patiently for it to come off and just puts some spin on it. I think his opponent thought it might kick out to the forehand, but it went straight at the shoulder. Sometimes a snake with straight topspin is effective. Nice patience here and a big stroke there. Right on the line, but he moves to get himself over for that forehand. Set it up nicely. That's the word again that sounds like backhand that I will look up in Polish if I know how to spell it.
yeah, just tried with this long end line placements now as well, as they were working so well for Jakimczuk, surprising him, putting him off guard.
A little bit off the top of the net, a little fortune here. I feel like the culture is a little bit different at the Paralympics, or maybe within para-table tennis, in terms of showing and edges and nets.
Yeah, well, generally I think you wouldn't do it when there's a net, but somebody would apologize first, acknowledge that bit of luck, and then celebrate the point anyway.
After all, it is the biggest competition in the world.
And especially in a tied match like this one we're following, it's every point does count.
In this case, it's only 1 point that separates them. Cha still up by 1, a big second serve here. Wow. So this lob, much like the Tetra, is high with backspin, but it's right at the baseline of the table, so it's not such an easy shot.
Yeah, no, from down below where you're sitting, it's really hard to make. Because in that case, you can't even throw yourself onto the ball like you can do with these Tetra shots that are shorter.
Oh, no! No, no, no! How does that one come back? You see it, the hands on the head behind the table? That's exactly the reaction. Slapped right back down the line. Watch the crowd. Hands on head. 100%. That reaction is probably everybody who saw that. And super points, 2 in a row from not easy positions, but the one before had a lot of scar power. It can just scar the memory of the opponent. Cha looking for the answers. And he finds one quickly with a side topspin serve into the elbow. But it's not over yet. 9 points apiece. That deep push just carries long. I started to wonder, what will Jakimczuk do? Again, he has never beaten Cha Soo-young. But he ties it up deuce in game number 2. I mean, every game so far these two have played has gone extra points. And it's the Polish player in the lead game-wise.
Yeah, this is extremely exciting when two players who are more tied up play against each other. It's of course that much more interesting to watch than when you have one who's clearly better than the other.
Well, right now it is Cha who ties it up. Cha Soo-young gets a game on the scoreboard, and they're dead even. Had he been down 0-2, it still would have been tough to know for sure based on their head-to-head history. But now, with the momentum, nothing between them, 22 points scored apiece. And it's just history, but that's all long gone. It's just a memory. All we have is now. So game 3 will be coming up in just a bit. Players back for game 3 to see who steps in front and takes the lead. Poland's Jakimczuk with the serves. Good pressure down the middle. Cha right into that elbow. Saw his opponent set up on the backhand side. Test him out wide a little bit more.
Great placement to the elbow, but Cha took it really well.
Ooh, I was surprised. I mean, from the head scratching here on Cha's side, it seems I'm not the only one. Deep on the table, a bit of side spin to make it kick on the bounce.
Yeah, he was just too late on it, and it flew away from him.
It's so interesting. Normally, again, for a player not seated, if it's deep on the table, they've got time against a ball like that. But here, you've mentioned how uncomfortable it can be, and we can see just, you know, you've got some of the best in the world. And if they're not taking it right off the bounce, it becomes very challenging to play. Good placement. Cha shorter to the backhand, digs underneath to keep it away, keep it closer to the net. I'm watching the body language right now, speaking of language, and wondering what Jakimczuk is thinking. I think he's got to believe. It's easy sometimes to get caught up in the past for a bit and say, man, game 2, I had him.
Yeah, and Cha, this shot wasn't impossible. It was just failed timing yet again on his side. And this is the kind of opportunities he shouldn't be missing at this point.
So a bit of cat and mouse here, a bit of chase going on. Jakimczuk pulling his way back in, just down by 2. And that side spin, not much else on it. Maybe a little bit of underspin there so that the opponent hits the net on the way back. Now within 1, Jakimczuk in black. Remember, Cha the favorite here. He's got a lot of work to do to stay in front.
He's really given Jakimczuk some easy points in this game.
It's a bit out of character for him. Ooh, surprise. Second swing okay, but once it bounces a second time on your side of the table, the point's over. Actually, doesn't even have to be your side. Once it hits your side and bounces again, so long as it's not on the net or any part of the net assembly. Just a little bit late there for that second swing. Ooh, a bit of fortune. That serve is so good, so close to the corner, but he sneaks it past. It has to be very fast
and
to be out of
very
reach.
long.
Right. A little bit off the top of the net, but good reach here. So this could be the turning point. Remember, head-to-head, the man in black, Tomasz Jakimczuk, has never won. So that makes things very interesting here at 9-9 at one game apiece. I mean, that's just such a tough ball to get to. Having to keep yourself in the seat. If you can move a bit for that, but that ball's not in reach. And even if he gets that one, the next ball, he's leaving himself exposed with the table open.
Yeah, he did everything he could, but in this case, not much could have been done.
So 11-9, Cha Soo-young, one game away from sending Korea through to the gold medal match. It's a 2-1 lead for Korea's Cha Soo-young in the deciding match versus Tomasz Jakimczuk. Game number 4, don't go anywhere. It could be the last, and it is coming right up. And we're back for game number 4. Cha Soo-young, the top of the screen in blue. Tomasz Jakimczuk of Poland, fighting for survival, down 1-2. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great, but definitely not as nervous as these two now. I feel it's going to be a real mind game. It is match number 3. Game number 4, and all of them were so close before.
Right out of the gates here, much more aggressive Cha Soo-young. Deep serve and third ball attack. He's pumped. But at full extension, the swatting backhand. Jakimczuk says, nah, not here today. You can't do that to me. That bit of adrenaline sometimes that gives mothers a power to lift a car off a child. Adrenaline's a fascinating thing. Human beings are just unbelievable.
Yeah, but especially in table tennis, it can work against you sometimes. The arm, the hand starts to shake, the heartbeat races.
Yeah, nerves are tricky to calm as well. It's a fine balance of an emotional, I'd say, well, emotional puzzle to play. Well played here. Cha recognizes a tetra's coming and gets in near the net. Now with the racket taped to his, or wrapped to his hand like this, It's tough to get that extra extension.
Yeah, almost impossible, really, because he can't loosen the grip, and even if he did, he wouldn't be able to control the racket anymore.
So that much more work for the body in that shot.
But it is the case that the more he stretches, the less control he has in his wrist.
Good placement here, side and backspin. Yakimchuk protecting. Remember, it's now or never for Yakimchuk on screen in black. It's service strong, very subtle contact with that backhand and dropped into the net on the receive. Not over yet, a long way to go. Yakimchuk 1 point at a time. This attack here to the deep corner. Just a little bit of height and he punishes the opponent. Again, that low camera angle shows us how impressive that shot really is.
Careful on both sides, but nice, really long pushes from Cha, earning him this point.
One given right back with the service omiyage, service gift.
Yeah, considering how well his service worked for him, this perhaps wasn't great.
Curious what the conversation was trying to tell. Tough.
Well, that was one backhand.
A conversation ender, really. Not a good opener at a party. That's a backhand that, last thing you want to say. I'm trying to spin it up, lift from the back of the table, but now it is 5-game match and overall team contest points for Cha Soo-young and Korea. And it goes just long. Korea, Cha Soo-young takes down his Polish opponent, and in a nail-biting finish, 3 games by just 2 points in the end. The experience, the touch, it is world number 4. 41-year-old Cha Soo-young of South Korea, who moves on with Park Jin-chul to play for the gold medal. The final round, but I have to say that the Polish men really fought an incredible fight. From the 5-gamer at the top in doubles to Rafał Chuper in a 5-gamer, and against all odds, Tomasz Yakimchuk really putting pressure on Cha in the first 3 games. This match could have gone either way.
A real marathon of a thriller, and yeah, in the end it did turn out that that first match in the doubles that was also so close was the deciding one.
Right, had it gone the way of Poland, it would have been over with Chuper in the second, and even within an individual match, this one right here, games 2 and 3, Cha Soo-young pulled out those nail-biting finishes by a margin of 2 points. So in classes 1 and 2, it'll be Korea versus France. So it'll be the fighting spirit, the power and the movement versus the touch, the control, and the art of spin from France. That should be exciting to watch.
No doubt, and I'm sure we'll get the chance in the day of the finals.
Well, I consider myself lucky, as I'm sure do you, to be watching the wheelchair finals gold medal matches. So much variety, such a tactical battle. You don't want to miss it.
And especially not many people are lucky like us to be able to do it live. But for all of the rest of you, at least you'll have it on screen. The golden selection, at least, of the matches on this table 6 for wheelchairs.
Konnichiwa and irashaimase. Hello and welcome to Tokyo 2020, the Paralympic Games. We're here live in Tokyo Metropolitan Gymnasium, and this will be the semifinal for women's teams classes 4 and 5, China on the left versus Great Britain on the right. A look at what's to come doubles first, and following that, Zhang Bian versus Megan Shackleton. And if a third match is needed, it'll be Zhou Ying and veteran player who's played every Paralympics this century, Sue Bailey at 48 years old. I realize when you say century, it makes someone sound like they've been around a really long time. Sue's got a lot of experience, but as quick as can be.
Yeah, this is her 6th Paralympic Games, but she'd had yet to win a medal, so this will be a great success for her, even if the two of them lose this semi-final, as is expected. Shackleton, first-time Paralympian, so no doubt this is thrilling for her as well, especially as she was the one who earned them this spot in the semi-finals against Jordan, beating a win in her singles against the Jordan player for the first time.
Yeah, it was a very dramatic finish. I remember watching Megan Shackleton with her hands on her head for the last serve. And Sue Bailey won the point, and the tears started to flow, hugs all around. I will say Great Britain has had some outstanding success in recent years in table tennis. A lot of rise in para and also in the non-para. But Will Bailey doing some outstanding. Another Bailey here who has done some outstanding play. Has been spectacular to watch. But these two women right now have a big task ahead of them and are already, I think, a bit high on life and confidence. So they've got nothing to lose. They've only got basically upgrades of medals from here.
Yeah, Team China, as is the case, has a gold from the 3 consecutive previous Paralympic Games.
But nobody's perfect, right?
Yeah. I would say this is as close as you can get to perfection, to a perfect score.
Yeah, 3 golds in a row is not too bad.
Not to mention these two both gold medalists from their singles in classes 4 and 5 from these games already.
So we've already pointed out a few flaws in their games, but what are their strengths?
I think we'll see that on display pretty soon. Like all the Chinese, great serve and speed. Good use of possible pimpled rubbers. That's always a point.
So you saw on screen there at the bottom, the quarterfinal, the victory over Jordan. India, a 2-0 victory over India. Bhavina Patel, a legend now in India, being the first para table tennis medalist, and she got a silver in her first appearance. Just incredible. Kamiya Akiko, our umpire for the match from Japan, and on the other side of the table from Dominican Republic, it is Luz Pichardo, our assistant umpire. Again, the officials here, international blue badge umpires, the best in the world, and it hasn't been easy, there's no question about it, but they've been keeping the games fair. So trying not to get involved, but will do what they have to make sure that both sides have a fair chance, equal opportunity coming into the match.
Well, the one title that Sue Bailey does have and the Chinese don't is that she's been named MBE, so a member of the Most Excellent British Empire for her work in table tennis charity and also coaching.
The Chinese pair don't have that, you say?
No, I don't think they can count on getting it.
We'll have to check online, fact check that, but no, good times, good times.
Perhaps Megan Shackleton has a chance if she does well in the next couple of years.
We'll see. I mean, she's already started so strong, only 22 years old, and a medal at her first Paralympic Games. So we talked about team spirit, from the earrings to the nails. Sue Bailey flying the British flag here, the Union Jack for Great Britain. A good start here in the tight game. The Chinese pair starting with the serves in the first point. Now, we've talked about this a bit, but if you're just joining us, in the wheelchair events in doubles, players cannot have their wheelchair cross their half of the table, but they can reach across, and they do not need to alternate shots. The serve does have to go from the right side cross court, though.
And to the same receiver throughout the entire game.
Right, and after every game, they will switch the order of play to mix it up, make sure that there's no, or as little advantage as possible, keep things close. So a fair exchange of points here, the first 4 points and nothing between them. So now, Zhou Ying. Tough to read how much spin is on that serve. Looked a bit empty and it's popped up and out. See the pips on the forehand there, the red side of the racket for Zhang Bian.
Now, a thing we keep pointing out with these team events is also that despite the fact that both Chinese are great favorites to win this overall match and their individual matches, that doesn't mean they're a great pairing in the doubles.
Right, there are greater chances for upsets in doubles simply because of that there are so many different factors.
And we could see how Shackleton attempted to hit that long middle ground between the two players, as this is where the most synchronity is required between the two team partners, not to either hit each other when both reach for the ball or, well, just miss it because neither of them would.
It's interesting, we saw the pips on the forehand, the red side of the rackets for both of the Chinese players. If you're newer to table tennis, that means they create less spin with that red side of the racket, the Chinese pairing. But they'll use the backhand more commonly when they serve, unless they're serving long and dead, to create that extra spin on the serve. Not always easy to tell as they twiddle the racket last moment. And that's exactly what it does here. No spin to work with, so the ball doesn't come up, just drops right off the racket into the net. But Megan Shackleton is learning quickly all the time. She made improvements throughout her match against Jordan yesterday. Gutsy serve, short and just low enough to shut down the attack. Bold play from the youngster, 22-year-old medalist.
Yeah, she noticed how far away from the table the Chinese player was set to receive.
And a good attack down the middle of the table. Now, there are different sweet spots on the table. If you can hit it out of reach, it's tough in doubles. But down the middle of the table is the confusion point, where the players really have to coordinate and make sure they know who wants to hit the ball, stay out of each other's way, but not both let it go. Sue Bailey on the receive now. Zhou Ying to serve. Clever attempt on the short touch shot, but a well-protected serve there. And the signal to Megan Shackleton to make sure that Megan knows what to expect. It's a nice counter with a parallel backhand coming in here. Sue Bailey opens the attack. And Zhou Ying right there for the cross court. Now, in terms of different tactics, since you don't have to alternate shots, you mentioned sometimes playing to the less experienced player.
Yeah, but it's difficult here to choose between the two Chinese, both of them with 6 gold Paralympic medals already around their necks, chasing their 7th. So to say that one of them is weaker or less experienced isn't really the tactics to take.
Well, on the other side, the Chinese pair, I think, looking, again, they know that Sue Bailey has been in the game for a long time and knows it well. So as strong as Megan Shackleton has been playing, they're going to try to test her out a bit here and there. But we'll see. She's made a lot of strong shots so far, but with more than double the points of their opponent, the Chinese pairing takes game number 1. It's a best-of-5 opening doubles match for the women's team, classes 4 and 5 semifinal. Game 2 coming right up. Players back for game number 2. The order of play will be switched. And as they cool off, Megan Shackleton cleaned her rubber to make sure she's ready to spin the ball. She's got serves ahead, and she's got Zhang Bian on the receive. A back-to-back-to-back gold medalist from London through Tokyo.
Yeah, but the British have some experience on their side as well, with Sue Bailey, as well as on their bench. The coach you see behind them is attending his 10th Paralympic Games.
10th?
He competed in 7, and now it's his 3rd as a coach.
Neil Robinson.
Yeah, that's right, and has, I believe, 7 Paralympic medals himself.
Well, I cannot say the same.
And not many people can.
Right.
But the 2 Chinese, being 2 of them.
Yeah, they're very close to their 7th gold. Good fast serve here out of the backhand. Zhang Bian getting the first point for the Chinese pair in this game so far. But 2 service points in a row. Sue Bailey learning quickly, though, as the serves come in, trying to adjust and adapt from every ball. So Zhou Ying now on the receive. Sue Bailey with the serves.
Yeah, the serves are a strong point of the Chinese, and they even don't come into play that much in the doubles as later, perhaps, in the singles.
They're pinpointing the middle here, looking for that crossover point to make it uncomfortable. The British pair still in it. Early part of the game, they've been strong. Team Great Britain.
Yeah, it was the same in game 1, but then the pink pair quickly made the difference.
Sue Bailey with the pipped backhand there, the flatter fast shot. Oh, back edge of the table, a little bit of fortune as Shackleton keeps it deep. Quick acknowledgement, but playing brave. This is an excellent setup. We've seen her do this before, that short drifting serve to the forehand side. And then Sue Bailey there for the cleanup.
That's one occasion when it's really important to indicate to your team partner what serve you're attempting, so they know exactly what to expect.
That was interesting. Did you catch what happened there for the last shot?
Well, nothing special, really. Just a point to the Chinese pair.
From time to time.
This is what happened.
Okay.
You saw it now.
Yeah, it seems that from time to time you'll see players sort of clash rackets. You could see the rubber there coming up a little bit on the forehand for Megan Shackleton. Just a little bit on the edge.
Too far out. Sue Bailey for this last backhand.
Now, similar to what Megan Shackleton was doing, this serve is short, but a bit more central on the table, not drifting as far to the forehand. Shackleton not happy with their third ball attack there, the opportunity, but not as easy as it might appear. Smart play, cross court here, still a little bit into the middle.
And also not allowing one of the Chinese player to develop their own pace, just switching from one side to the other.
Tight game here, back and forth. The British pair already doing better than they did in game number one late in the game, but still a ways to go. China in front by 1. Oh, the edge, a bit of fortune. A few IOUs left in the bank for the Chinese pair.
They played smartly with putting pressure on Bailey with their pushes, and it almost paid off.
The big stroke backhand there, tough to recover from. Right back to the player that attacked it. Also using the length of the table for security here. Zhou Ying quick to just slap back.
And Bailey indicating to herself that she would have been better off taking that second one with the backhand side as well. This is this middle.
So now 2 game points for the Chinese to step in front by 2 games to 0 in the first match. Again, each match, individual match, is first side to win 3 games to win the match. Zhang Bian with the serve. Fast and long with those pips, tough to read. A very difficult receive, and we'll see what happens. Great Britain versus China, game 3 coming right up. Players back to the table for game number 3. China in the lead, 2 games to 0, but this pair right here is already performing incredibly well. The Great Britain, the British 2.
Offering great resistance, even though, as we've mentioned a couple of times now, they're by far not expected to win.
I mean, the amount of gold that decorate these 2 women on screen could be quite intimidating. But you do your preparation, you come to the table and you say, what are my best odds? I'm going to make it uncomfortable for my opponents however I have to.
As far as consolation prizes go, a bronze medal from the Paralympic Games really isn't that bad.
No, that's, yeah. Consolation prize is a very modest description. And even the best in the game have to keep practicing. That serve for Shackleton has been very effective, but here it was well handled on the receive.
Yeah, but that's another thing, that a surprise is a surprise if you do this kind of serve once, maybe twice, but when it's 3, 4, 5 times in a game, it can't be much of a surprise anymore.
Yeah, predictability just gives your opponent that much more time to set up and answer. Good placement into the elbow of Shackleton, getting a backhand from the forehand side of the elbow. Now she can make those shots, but it's not easy.
She was ready to take that forehand if it was necessary.
A nice parallel backhand, Sue Bailey bringing it to within 1.
Yeah, this is one of her signature shots, actually. It looks like she's done the stroke completely wrong, but it works well.
That was right in the middle. It was sort of an up for grab shot, and Sue Bailey, without hesitation, goes for the shot. I think she took the right shot. In terms of the last thing you said, it might look a bit unusual, but a wise man once told me technique is whatever works. And for Sue Bailey, no question about it, that backhand works.
Yeah, and that's especially the case in wheelchair games in para table tennis, because you can't always be in the right position with your body to make that correct or textbook shot. So you make do with whatever is available.
Beautiful shot here. What's that saying? How to get a beach body? Have a body, go to the beach? Oh, this is one of those shots where it's just unclear who it's closer to. You don't want to take it from your opponent and then it ends up sailing past.
And right on the end line too.
Yeah, perfect placement from the opposition. Let's see if she sticks with that short serve or changes it up with something long, more middle of the table. A bit longer here, a little depth, and Sue Bailey follows up. Score-wise, still a way to go. The British women down by 4 points, but the Chinese pair still 3 away, so some big receives here to come. Signaling the serve. I use that to mean underspin, but
I think she does too.
I don't know how much differentiation you see, what variety of service signals, but I know in certain nations they use their racket. There are all sorts of different signals people give. Maybe in wheelchair, less on the racket?
Yeah, I mean, the difference is also, of course, that if you're a left-handed player, then your racket, your playing hand will always be turned towards your teammate when you're serving. So I did do it with the racket, while the right-handed players, I would say, mostly use their non-playing arm.
6 match points now for the Chinese pair. Service warning again, 6 match points. Good umpiring, though. Regardless of the score, making sure that the rules are followed. Sue Bailey back from the warning against 6 match points. And perfect placement, the Chinese duo, the pair in pink, take the first match. It's a best of 3 matches overall, the first team to win 2 matches. But out here in the doubles, it was 3-0 for the Chinese pair, 11-4 in the end. Smiles to start, and we will move on to the singles. So racket turned in to the envelope there in case it needs to be checked, so that nothing, I think just to make sure that nothing can be done to the rackets before the matches. And then we'll come back with Zhang Bian and Megan Shackleton. It is a must win for Megan Shackleton. And for Zhang Bian, the world #1 in class 5, she will be just 1 match away from returning to the gold medal match here for the women's team classes 4 and 5 event. Welcome back. We just got through the coin toss here. Zhang Bian and Megan Shackleton. Megan Shackleton with the red hair, Zhang Bian with the red flag and the pink shirt. The Chinese player on the right side of the screen. Playing for the Chinese team, as you might expect, leading 1-0. Megan Shackleton, only 22 years old, but already a bronze medalist at a first-time Paralympic appearance, her debut.
We just saw her send away the ball pickers, saying she doesn't need one and would prefer to have the space, nobody bothering her.
Do you think it's also would prefer to have a little extra time to plan out between points what she might want to do?
It's just different with different players, but I would say the higher the class, of course, the less help they need and the more they tend to do this themselves. Yeah, we can see this great upper body balance for Shackleton. She's also playing with almost no back lean on her wheelchair.
Yeah, that is interesting to see the different supports behind the players. You know more about wheelchairs than I do, using one yourself. Can you tell us a little bit about maybe how specific these are for table tennis versus casual daily life?
Well, we have players who use their everyday wheelchairs for play as well, and only make a few adjustments, like I don't know, the height of the seat, or add some cushions, or change the angle on the wheels or something like that. And then there's players who prefer to switch the wheelchairs completely, so there's no rule really. It's not like in, I don't know, basketball or some other sport like that, or in tennis, where you absolutely need a different wheelchair to compete.
In terms of padding on the seat to raise yourself up, is there a ruling on how much you're allowed to pad your seat?
Yes, there is. The maximum of 2 cushions is allowed, and both of them together, when used in play, cannot exceed 15 centimeters of height. And another important rule, since we are with the Chinese, who have been penalized on that a lot before, is that you are not allowed to lift from the cushion when making the shot.
So some part of you must be touching the seat at all times, between, say, the back of the legs and the bottom.
That's right.
So the best of 5 already in action here. First player to win 3 games, and again, it is a must-win for Great Britain's Megan Shackleton. The gold medalist of singles 3 times back-to-back-to-back in Class 5 for China at the top of the screen. That said, scoreline right now, nothing too overwhelming, but you could see that use of the wrist from out in front. Zhang Bian adding that extra top spin for pressure and security. She's got the pips on the forehand side of the racket, so Shackleton keeps it right at the baseline. With those pips on the forehand, it means she's not going to be able to spin it as much. A more flat trajectory shot, it's a little bit less likely. You need a little more height on the ball to really power through.
And Shackleton, if I saw correctly, playing with 2 smooth rubbers, so it's clear that she prefers a clear game.
That's right, spin on both sides. Good touch here. Now, we've talked about this a lot, especially in singles. The angle, when someone goes wide, it opens up an opportunity for an even wider shot back.
And this is what the pimpled rubber is perfect for.
There it is, a good look at it. Those little Lego-looking bumps, pimples or pips, depending on what part of the world you're from. Oh, man, it was getting faster and faster. Zhang Bian with that last shot. I mean, they were just cranking up the speed throughout, but that one was just devastating, that last shot.
Try to follow that with your eyes, let alone with your arm when you're at the table.
Right. Good reach from Shackleton, and she plays it back to the short side for the save. It's only game number 1, but it feels like so much has happened. We're not even halfway through. The sound alone, that serve is so fast and is called out from the bench. 漂亮, beautiful. I think there are a few Chinese words that almost all table tennis fans know. 好球, nice shot, and 漂亮, beautiful.
Yeah, and for those of us who had the chance to participate in the Beijing Paralympics, it was 中国有加油. So come on, China.
Yeah, 中国队加油. Yeah, 加油 is the cheer for everyone in the crowd. You'll hear it a lot from the fans around the world. Where Chinese players go, the fans are sure to follow. 3 serving 7. Outright service point for Shackleton to bring it within 3.
Now that's those pimps and that forehand.
Well, pimping indeed. Right off the side of the table there, that angle is untouchable. So racket turned around, long backhand serve. There it is. When you see the black rubber on the forehand for Zhang Bian, it means she's likely to be setting up a pips backhand serve, but here's something more spinny.
With some side spin, I think.
Indeed. And now 6 game points for Zhang Bian to take the first in this best-of-5 match. Right at the baseline of the table, catches the back edge. Little discussion here. Thought it did. Megan maybe saying she thought it missed and hit the chair directly. Sounded like table to me, tough to see, it all happened quickly, but handled diplomatically. 11-4, Zhang Bian. Had it been 17-15 in the first and there was a big argument, it would be a different story, but very politely handled. And 11-4, Zhang Bian takes game number 1. We'll see what happens with Megan Shackleton and Zhang Bian in game number 2 coming up in just a bit. Back for game number 2 and match number 2 of China versus Great Britain. Zhang Bian on screen leading 1-0 over Megan Shackleton with the serves now. But after an 11-4 beatdown in game number 1, Megan Shackleton starting strong on her serve. Steady play there, textbook spin shot to cover the elbow. Shackleton backing off the table a bit for the defense. Tough when you have to sacrifice the space near the table, but one way to make sure you keep the ball in play. It's a sharp turn in the corner there. She came into the corner with some serious speed to pick it up. Obviously a lot of experience controlling though, sharp turns and whatnot.
I was just gonna say the wheelchair is almost part of your body when you're an athlete with a disability, so yeah, you'd have a lot of control and feeling of where it goes.
One of the most impressive things to me that I've seen is when someone plays a short shot and someone wheels in near the net around the table in just a moment. A lot of players with one hand on the wheel to make sure that they can turn, twist, and go where they need to get the ball.
Another reason why it's so important that these competition tables in wheelchair table tennis don't have legs underneath them far out, but allow all this space to move around with the wheelchair.
The way you worded that sounded very interesting. But a very valid point indeed. It's interesting, some tables, the way they're made, you'll even see players who are simply tall in standing events bump their knees on the underneath parts.
Yeah, like with so many things in life, the designers sometimes don't fully appreciate the practicality.
Oh, that's frustrating for Shackleton. She makes an outstanding shot from the wide forehand, and when she earns herself a more attackable ball from the middle, just has to backpedal a bit. Still not easy, though, from the seat to play those high balls at the baseline. So 4 points apiece now. She knows the importance of capturing every opportunity, Shackleton. It's funny, these are normally things that you hear from the bench more. Haucho, good shot. Someone else, a third person, might say. But we've been hearing it throughout. To be pumped up here, stay positive. Oh, corner to corner, perfectly played. Pips first with that forehand, and then the spin shot right back to the other corner. Very subtle strokes, keeps the racket high, not a lot of backswing for that forehand. I guess the short Pips play has a little bit flatter of a shot anyway, so you don't need as much backswing if you're not going for a kill.
Zhang Bian's now back in position and back in the lead. But I must say, great resilience from Shackleton. Yeah, but that is this killer long serve deep into the backhand with the pimps.
Shackleton taking a moment here to get straightened out and figure out her tactics for this third ball. Zhang Bian has made it very difficult with that short receive to the forehand and then hitting it behind the player. It's like come in and get this, but get back for the next ball at the baseline. Not easy to do. Classic setup, combination play here. And an outright service point sets up 5 game points for Zhang Bian to go up 2-0 over Megan Shackleton. So 11-5, once again a victory here. Just 1 point more for Megan Shackleton. She's going to have to change the score even more. It won't be easy. Again, she's looking at a back-to-back-to-back, 3-time consecutive gold medalist in Class 5, the strongest class within the wheelchair events. So an uphill battle, a learning experience, but she's going to do everything she can to extend the match. Game 3 coming right up. Players back for game number 3. Megan Shackleton fighting to survive, down 0-2 in games. That was an excellent retrieval. She really takes her time for that wide forehand. How pumped is she right now? I mean, the rally continued for quite some time after that wide retrieval. But this one sneaks past. Good depth on the shot here from Zhang Bian to tie it up. Neil Robinson in the corner, 7-time medalist. Did you say 10-time Paralympian?
Yeah, that's right.
Jeez.
Competed in 7, that is.
Got it. Good to know, good to know. Still impressive, of course, and collecting all the experience, which is going to be very valuable to have in your corner. It's Shackleton up 2-1.
Yeah, he was one of the people who's talked about how much table tennis, para-table tennis, and the Paralympic Games have changed and evolved during his time, and that he's proud to still be able to follow up on everything and develop along with the game to assist as coach.
Well, I heard that this is the most televised, most covered Paralympic Games to date. So it's on its way up. More and more people see the magic of the play, the passion out here, the celebration, the variety in tactics, and just get hooked. It's quite exciting to watch. So, out of the first towel break, 2 serving 4.
And that's great, and especially important this year when not many people have the opportunity to see all this live here at the venue.
Right, no matter where you are or how your last year and a half has been, this is an absolute treat. That serve was close to the line. It might have curved back on. Either way, Zhang Bian able to reach it comfortably. It's a good counter from Shaq right off the bounce with those pips, coming in off the forehand of Zhang Bian. Quick reaction. Did you see how much she had to lift the racket to attack it and keep it out of the net?
Yeah, that was great, and she did half of the shot just with the angle on the racket.
Now, I've mentioned that she's 22 years old and this is her first Paralympic Games, but she is world rank number 9 in class 4. So she's playing someone who's a class above her as well as a gold medalist. That's how much of an uphill battle this is. So the score line that you're seeing here is quite impressive. Sort of like wrestling up a weight class. You're just dealing with people with an ability that you might not have to battle against normally, but in the team's event, that is the name of the game, combining classes right now. Have you seen growth in the numbers and the participants so that more and more people will come and classes won't have to combine?
Yeah, I think that is the hope and the trend, but to keep things interesting enough, especially in the team event, I think for a while still at least some of the classes will have to be combined, as I don't think they would want to increase the number of the participants all too much, and mostly only teams with players who have qualified in the singles event can form a team.
Well, an outstanding shot here to show that the cream of the crop are playing the Paralympic Games, and it is 6 match and overall team match points for Zhang Bian and Team China to move on to the gold medal match. And with a shot like this, it is not coming back. Experience, precision, skills, Zhang Bian has it all. And she moves on over Megan Shackleton. And Sue Bailey and Megan Shackleton, again with an outstanding performance for Great Britain. Bronze medals all around, but they faced their meet right here, or they met their match. They didn't face their meet. Maybe just thinking about food. It's been exciting to watch, but watching all the energy expended out here, I think we need to refresh ourselves and get ready, because the gold medal matches that will come will be quite a challenge. Team China, the most decorated team in this class. 6 gold medals already between their events. And it is Zhang Bian and Zhou Ying who move on. So congratulations to the British women on an outstanding tournament and your bronze medals. Megan Shackleton, definitely not too shabby, but she met the best of the best for a player that is literally out of her class, just one class above. So stats on screen, 21 stroke rally. I mean, to me, the 22-year-old showed a lot of promise, but it's going to be the winner of Sweden and Serbia to join China. Some interesting history with these nations on screen.
Yeah, I assume you're referring to the non-disabled
That is correct.
table tennis. Great success for the British team, as you've mentioned, and these two, on the other hand, go on to chase their Paralympic gold number 7.
Outstanding. Well, in terms of you watching and enjoying, while it was a shutout for the Chinese women, there were a lot of outstanding rallies, a lot to be learned from the masterclass that the Chinese team has put on here once again. And whether you are able-bodied or have some impairment, whether it's acquired or something from birth, I hope that if you've never tried playing table tennis, watching this makes you get up, go outside, and give it a try. The inspiration that these women have brought in the demonstration of how exciting, how fast-paced, and how much, I'd say, thinking needs to go on, how clever you have to be, just makes me want to play even more. You've been watching Tokyo 2020, the Paralympic Games. So there you have it. That wraps up the session. Excitement all around, and the stage has been set. The battles will continue in the gold medal matches here. You've been watching the wonderful world of table tennis from Tokyo 2020, the Paralympic Games. See you, Megan. See you, Sue. See you at the medal ceremonies. And don't forget, if you're looking to get more into table tennis, it's all over the internet. Search it on YouTube, Google it, wherever you want. But make sure that you get playing more. Be inspired by Tokyo 2020, the Paralympic Games. Remember, the offer is on the table.